We doing? We are live. Brett Garamella, the Drone Pilot Pro here. Gonna take a sip of water because we got ourselves a live stream. It might go a little long. All right. Welcome, guys. Welcome. I'm about 2 minutes late. Sorry about that. Had some technical difficulties. But we are all set up. We are live. We're doing this live stream. And we are giving away the DJI Mini 2 today. I'm super pumped up. I did finally pick a winner. Read over 250 comments, something like that. Didn't count, but it took me several hours to read all the comments. Wrote down my favorite comments, and we're going to get to that today. Also today, we got Rolling 20s tuning in. We got Nathan Lee. All right, good to see you guys. We got Drone Flight. We got Sam Phillips. We got Josh Navy, or Nave. Sorry about that. All right, we got everybody. We got 22 people. We got more people. We got Alex Brock tuning in. All right. Okay. So here's the agenda for today. We're going to do a Q&A. I'm going to answer some of those questions because I got over 250 questions. So we're going to answer some of those today. And some of the ones that I thought I haven't answered before and I thought were really important. Then we're going to talk about video editing along with the #1 success killer. Everyone's thinking, what is the #1 success killer? Yeah, we're going to talk about the #1 success killer today. Then I'm going to answer some of your questions on the live chat. And then after that, we're going to announce the winner. I'm going to ship that today, by the way. So that winner is going to get the Mini 2 hopefully this week, hopefully in a couple days, depending on the shipping, but it's going out today. So who else do we have on the live chat? We got Pat L. What's up? We got Ron Waxberg. Good to see you. Nathan Lee, Ryan Opalek, Pavel Stable. Sorry, I'm butchering your names. My apologies, but we got Mr. B out there. That's what they call me sometimes, Mr. B. Patrick Trahan, Alex Beltrain. We got MotoRef FPV, Tin. All right, we got a lot of people. All right, 33 people and counting. So we're going to start this live stream. So first question I got that I'm going to go over the Q&A right now. So I have a few questions here. So Gosh Babu's travel story says, I wanted to be a travel vlogger. He lives in India. He wants to fly the mini drone in India. He says the drone short you see live on your screen. So he's talking about the image that you see on the screen of your drone and controller and phone versus the drone that you see on your computer. Are they same quality? So all right, I think I know what he meant, but he didn't quite word that quite right. But he said, thanks for the tips shown in the video by you. I must try them in the near future. Okay, so Gosh Babu's travel stories. So what you're saying is the image that you download from the drone onto your tablet, your phone, is it the same quality? Okay, or is it the same quality as you get from the micro SD card? So the micro SD card in the back right here, usually we take that little card out, okay, and we put that onto our computer and we store our footage usually on an external hard drive, okay? So to answer your question, the footage that you store on the micro SD card and on your phone in the app, it's the same quality now with the DJI Fly app and the Mini 2. However, I would still recommend saving your footage on the micro SD card, memory card, and here's why. Because with video, there's a video cache limit. So even if your phone has a 250 gigs of storage, you can only store up to 16 gigabytes. So you can choose that in the app, the DJI Fly app. You can choose like 2, 4, 8, 16, but 16 is the max. So once it hits 16 gigabytes of video, it will stop storing. It'll reach the limit. It's not going to store any more video on your phone or your iPad or your device. Okay, that's the limit. Whereas the micro SD card, if you have like 64 gigs, 128 gigs, you can keep shooting. All right. So that's one thing for video. So the quality isn't a problem, but the video limit is a problem. Now for photography, the problem is you can shoot let's say you're taking photos and you're shooting JPEG or you're shooting RAW images. Okay, you can still download those JPEG images onto your phone. You have the JPEG images if you want to edit just on your phone and post them. However, if you're shooting RAW, like I shoot RAW, and then you want to edit those RAW images, those DNG files in Photoshop or Lightroom, I had, for me personally, with my iPad, it doesn't work. Like those RAW files don't transfer on my iPad. So I have to physically, I can only transfer them if they're on the memory card. So that's why I use the memory card. So I have more space and I can also get the RAW files. So what I do is I think of the footage on your phone or your device as more of like a backup. Let's say something happens to your drone, God forbid you crash your drone, or the memory card gets corrupted or something happens like that, or your drone gets wet, whatever happens, you still have the footage on your phone or your device that you're using, and you can still use it. Okay, so it's more like a backup. So it's two ways of storing the data, but I always use the micro SD card for my best footage. All right. We're up to 44 people. All right, still counting. So people just tuning in, we're doing a Q&A right now. Then we're going to talk about a little bit about video editing, because I had a lot of people ask me about video editing. I'm going to tell you about the #1 success killer for people who are looking to start a drone business or get into photography or filmmaking business. Then I'm going to answer some of your questions here in the live chat, and then we're going to give away the Mini 2. All right, so on to the next question. All right, #2, I would use the Mini 2 for landscape videography. I don't know who this person was. Oh yeah, to sharing Sherpa. So we'll just call him Sherpa. Said I would use the Mini 2 for landscape videography, mountains, hills, lakes. How well does the Mini 2 do in gusts? So handling wind gusts, and in the wind, a lot of depends on the weight and the design of the drone. Okay, most drones are pretty much designed like this nowadays, so not as much the design, but definitely the weight plays an important factor. Now, a lot of people say, oh, you could use different propellers and things like that. But with the Mini 2, the biggest factor that they changed from the original Mini was the ESCs, or the motors. The motors now have a little more strength, a little different. Also, the battery is a little more powerful. But the main thing that affects the wind is actually the motors. So with the Mini 2, you're gonna be better, much better than the original Mini. And it says, DJI says scale 5, which is 17 to 21 mile per hour winds. So I would say with the Mini 2, you could fly up to about 20 miles per hour and still get clean, smooth footage. After 20 miles per hour, you can still fly it like 20 to 25 miles per hour wind. You can still fly it, but your footage might be a little shaky. All right, so that'd be my recommendation. We're going to get into the next one. All right. And we got 49 people tuning in. Awesome. Next question. We got Nuddle Buttle. I'd use the drone to see and film locations on my travels. My question is, could one use bigger props on the Mini for more powerful windy conditions? And this piggybacks on the last answer, but I would say it's more the ESCs, the motors, design, and weight of your drone. You could add different propellers. I know other drones, DJI drones, have like the low noise propellers, and those do help a little bit. However, it's the ESCs, the motors, that really play the biggest factor. Also, the design and weight; those are the biggest factors for the wind. So you could use different propellers. They don't really have them yet. It's just the propellers that come with the drone, and they're really quiet. I mean, super quiet and very good. So I would just roll with those for now. Also, it doesn't void your warranty. When you use different propellers on the DJI drones, it'll probably void the warranty. I don't know how DJI figures that out, but they have a weird way of figuring out. They can see how the drone is flying and how the propellers are moving in the app based on your flight record. So just stick with what you got. All right. Next question is from Creative Studio in Sri Lanka. Okay. I like to let the whole world see the beautiful things in my world with the Mini 2. I think the best third eye for the Mini 2, it's like, he said, I think the best third eye for that is the Mini 2 drone. He said, thank you for your advice. What are the safety precautions to be taken while sending the Mini 2 over water reservoirs or reservoirs. Okay, so flying over water, there are 4 things you can look out for. So here are the 4 things if you're flying your drone over water that I would do. Number 1 is I would always do a compass calibration. Okay, do a compass calibration before you fly, and make sure you have a good signal. Okay, at least I would say number 9 or higher. Okay, so it says in the top, the DJI Fly app or the DJI Go 4 app. Make sure it says 9 or higher. Make sure you do that compass calibration. Then what I would do is I would practice how you're going to fly over the water. I would practice flying over land. Okay, so you feel confident flying over land. Water is the same thing. It's just you don't want to really mess up. On land, you don't feel as bad if something happens. You don't have kind of like that pressure. It's almost like tightrope walking really low as opposed to bringing the rope really high. Then you feel a little more anxious and so forth. So next thing I'd recommend flying over water is to get a spotter. Okay, a spotter in the drone terminology, that's just another person next to you who's just watching your drone. So just get another person to watch your drone, a friend, family member, whoever, and that way you can concentrate on your screen while the other person's watching. However, what I would recommend is you kind of keep your eye mainly on the drone, and then you just glance at the footage. So you keep your shot steady. Make sure you begin your shot, then you glance at the footage, see how it looks, then you glance up and keep your main focus on the drone. And having a spotter is just an extra set of eyes. Hey man, look at that tree branch. All right. And my last recommendation for flying over water is start a little higher. Okay, you start a little higher, maybe 20 feet or so above the water. Then you can maybe go down to 10 feet, and then you get below 10 feet, and you got to be really precise. Don't want any mistakes. Okay, so that'd be my recommendation for flying over water. All right, we got a couple more questions, and we're moving on with this live stream. Okay, so hold your questions. I'm going to get to them very soon. We got over 50 people on the live stream. I am going to get to your questions, and we are going to get to the Mini 2 for those people who just tuned in. We're going to get to this a little later in the live stream, but we're going to go over some questions first. So Jazzy Karen said, I will use the Mini 2 to shoot my wedding photography. Can you please let us know in depth about the ND filters you use with the Mini 2? Okay. One thing I'll say is ND filters, you could talk about that. That's a whole live stream in of itself. Okay. I could talk about that for a long, long time. We don't have that time today. So what I'll say is I'll put a link below this video, or you can go to thedronepilotpro.com. I got free training there where I show you exactly how to use ND filters along with other secrets and tips to flying DJI drones. With that said, I would say the ND filters you're going to need if you're flying around sunrise, early morning, closer to sunset, late afternoon, I would use ND4, ND8, ND16, ND filter. Okay. Later on, during closer to the middle of the day, I would use ND32 and ND64 or higher. Okay. Then if you want to do some really creative stuff, long exposures or creative photography, video work, I'd recommend you get some like ND with the Mini 2 because it has low aperture number, f2.8. You'd want to use like an ND 1000 and ND 2000. This is by Freewell. They just sent me these. I haven't opened them up or tried them out yet. But this is ND 1000 and ND 2000 for the Mavic Mini or the Mini 2. Okay. And that will basically allow you to do long exposures and all sorts of creative stuff, which I can't get into right now, but that's my recommendation. All right. Number 6, Johnny Pappendick. All right. What a name. Good old Johnny Pappendick said, I will be taking beautiful videos and pics of the landscape in my hometown, lakes and forests. So my question is, what drone do you think is better for the price? DJI Mini 2 or the Mavic Air 2? Okay, that's a good question. Mini 2 or Mavic Air 2. Both, you get a lot of value for the drone. Even though I'm giving away the Mini 2 today, I would still recommend the Mavic better for the price. I still think the Mavic Air 2 is better for the price. The reason is you get 4K 60 frames per second. It's better in the wind than the Mini 2. You got hyperlapse. You got obstacle avoiding sensors in the front and the back, which the Mini 2 doesn't have. And you also have a little bigger camera sensor, so you get better overall image quality. So for all those reasons, if you can save up and get the Mavic Air 2, I'd highly recommend it. I still think it's the best overall value because you can use it as a professional drone and it's super portable as well. So it's kind of like the best of both worlds. And one thing to keep in mind, you say, oh, I don't have the budget for a Mavic Air 2 yet. You could buy the Mini 2 now, and what I think DJI is going to do, they haven't announced this, but this is just my hunch, is you're going to be able to fly the Mavic Air 2 and the Mini 2 with the same controller, because you can link it up in the app now. You get to choose with your controller which drone you want to fly. So yeah, with the Mini 2, you can fly both those drones. So I have the feeling they're going to sell the Mavic Air 2 by itself pretty soon. They haven't done that, but that I've heard of. But I want to think after Christmas time or the holiday season, they'll probably will do that. I mean, it makes sense for profit and just for convenience for us. We can fly 2 drones with 1 controller. So that would be one reason to get the Mini 2 now and upgrade to the Mavic Air 2 when you have the budget for it. Okay, and then you could have the Mini 2 as more like a backup drone, or drone you want to, get close to objects. You're not afraid of like crashing as much. You can fly indoors, put the propeller cage on. You can fly, in tight spaces between like tree branches and things like that. All right, so that's it for the Q&A, the beginning Q&A. Now what I'm going to do is I just want to talk about. I'm going to get into your questions in the live chat in just one second. But I've been getting a lot of people saying, what software do I recommend for video editing? Or I want to learn video editing. So let me get a drink of water here, doing a lot of talking. So a lot of people have been asking about video editing. My recommendation, whether you're a complete beginner or whether you're a professional, I would still recommend the Adobe Premiere Pro software. The reason is its organizational system is, to me, the most intuitive and the best. The file sizes are much smaller than software like Final Cut Pro. Even though I have an Apple computer, I still use Premiere Pro. And I'm able to edit. I've tried all different softwares, DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, a couple others. Premiere Pro is the fastest. So for me, the most important thing is speed. One thing you hear in life, time is money. I'm sure you've heard that before. And with editing, it's the same thing. You don't want to be sitting in front of your computer all day editing videos, which is why I recommend Premiere Pro. And I just think it's so much faster than the other programs. Now, because so many people asked about it, I created a Premiere Pro editing course that I discounted to $99. Shows you my entire workflow, how I edit. Also shows you how to color grade, color correct footage, color grade footage. Gives you 5 drone LUTs. All that is included for $99 today and tomorrow. Now, in addition to make that deal a little better, what I'm going to do is, so if you're looking to do video editing, both for you want to start a YouTube channel, you want to start a professional drone business, a professional filmmaking business, or you just want to make videos, you want to be a filmmaker or whatever you want to do it just for fun. A lot of people, there's a lot of demand for video editing. Okay, right now, it's pretty obvious. With the whole world being online and with so many people making videos, you could throw a stone anywhere and you could find someone that needs a video edited. So having the skill of editing videos is a huge skill that's in demand. So if you want a part-time job or you want a full-time job, you could do video editing. That's without a doubt. If you can video edit, you can find work. Now, if you sign up for the course today or tomorrow, I'm going to add another video this week walking you step by step where to find clients. So where do I go? All right, I know how to edit videos. I took the course. Now a week later, I know how to edit videos. What do I do? Where do I find work? I'm going to show you exactly where to find work, both whether you want low-end work, you want to get tons of jobs, or you want to get super high-end work. I'm going to show you the different levels. I'm going to show you exactly where to go, what to click on, what to write, what to say in those emails or reaching out to people to get the work, okay? And you don't necessarily even need a huge portfolio to start. You could just edit one video. You could have one example, one short video, and you could do that this week. Okay, you could probably have a couple of videos edited this week. And best of all, you don't need to be even a filmmaker or a drone pilot. You could edit other people's work. So even if you don't have a drone now, you could edit other drone videos, other filmmaking videos, and make money. So that $99, I think within a couple weeks, you can make that entire money back. You could turn that into a part-time job, full-time job if you want to get more serious, or you could just do it, for your own benefit and start your own drone business, online business, editing videos, social media. All right. Videos they say are 10 to 12 times more, people are 10 to 12 times more likely to click on your video, on your post in social media, Facebook, Instagram, etc., if it's a video versus if it's a photo. So video is extremely popular. Obviously, you guys are here, YouTube. I don't have to convince you that, but there's a huge demand for it. That's all I'm saying. And I'm going to make this available today and tomorrow. So if you want to do that, I would highly recommend you get on this. Now, it's taken me years. This course I created is through trial and error. Okay, so trial and error, trying different things out. And I sort of have my own, I call it my revolutionary method. I don't know if it's revolutionary, but it certainly works for me. I've edited over 300 videos with it, over 200 videos on YouTube, and then, a lot of videos for professionally and for my course and for other things as well. So if you want to save time, if you want to keep it simple, my course is for you. Okay. And sometimes a lot of courses, I took some other courses in the past when I first started, and it just was so slow. It was just too much. First of all, it was just way too much material. And then also it wasn't fast. Like, I understood what they were doing. Like, this part was kind of fast, but then I had to look at the computer, the keyboard, then I had to look up and do something else. With my method, you don't have to even look at the keyboard. All right. You know exactly where your hands are. You just look at the screen and you just edit away. Okay. Sort of like someone who types, 80, 90 words per minute. They're just typing on the keyboard. That's how my video editing course is. So I called it Edit Fast Pro. Okay. I can't talk right now. Edit Fast Pro. And basically, the number one feature for my video course compared to other courses or other teachers out there is we focus on speed. Okay. And obviously you see my videos. I think they're professional. I'm not the best video editor in the world. There's always going to be someone better than you. Okay. But my video editing is good enough to make money, to get high paying clients, and to produce professionally made videos. So if you want to do the same, that offer is on the table. I'll put a link below after this live stream is done. And that brings me to my number one success killer. Okay, my number one success killer. Everyone says, I'm sure you've heard this before, okay? But the number one success killer is, I'll do that when I have the time, okay? I'll do that when I have the time. If you're older, you probably know this, but if you're younger, you might not have figured this out yet or realized this, but in life, you never have the time. The time never comes, okay? So if you want to do something, you have to make the time. You have to sacrifice in other areas, okay, to make that time. And video editing is a great opportunity that you can make the time in that will open up tons of doors for you. So if you're starting out now, a lot of people want to get into a drone business. What you could do is you could edit for someone who is a popular on social media, for example, a big YouTuber, a big cinematographer, they don't have to be big on YouTube. They could just be making a lot of money. They could be making 6 figures. They could be making 7 figures as a filmmaker. You could be editing their videos, okay? And then you're introduced to that person's world, okay? Then you're meeting all different people, okay? You're in their network, all right? You also get to see how things work, because when you communicate, you start working with other people, you start seeing the workflow, you start networking, and that's how things expand. All of a sudden, hey, I got this job, I can't shoot it, now I need you. So now not only are you editing, but now you're shooting, okay? So I say always go put yourself out there, opens up doors. And remember, the #1 success killer is I'll have more time, okay? Okay? I'll do that when I have the time, okay? That's the #1 success killer. I'll do that when I have the time. You never have the time, okay? All right. So with that, all that said, does anyone have questions about video editing? And I'll take questions about anything else that we've talked about, any of the things I've talked about so far. And then we're going to get into announcing the winner, what we all came here for. Any questions about that? Okay, Tony B says, amen to that. Nathan says, I'll definitely sign up for the course too. Awesome, Nathan. And like I said, you sign up for the course, you can ask me questions. Is there anything in the course you want added? I will be adding with my Drone Pilot Pro course. I'm going to be adding part 107. The next December, January, I'm focusing on part 107 videos for that course. But then end of January, February, I'll be adding advanced editing techniques onto the course. So you buy it now, you get all the fundamentals, you get color correcting, color grading. Then later on, a couple months go by, you're going to have advanced, all different sorts of transitions. Or you've seen me before, I hold a piece of paper up and then it transitions from one to another, goes into that screen. How do I do that? All different sorts of things like that. And really more advanced editing, filmmaking, advanced techniques that we're not going to get into that now, but yeah. All right. So let's see the questions. Raykan Diab says, can I still be part of the giveaway, bro? Sorry, Raykan. I do more giveaways, but in fairness to everyone that wrote in, I'm gonna have to. I already picked a winner, so it is what it is. Sorry about that, man. But I will be doing more giveaways in the future. All right. Cheers for the courses, mate. Alex Brock says, all right. All right. Nathan Lee, Brett truly wants you to be satisfied with the course. Yes, definitely. My whole point is I want to get other people who are successful with me. All right. Right now, I'm getting to the point where I want to produce even more content. So, you know, if you get good at my course, I could end up hiring you for that matter. Okay. So I'm going to bring on a couple. 2021, I'm definitely bringing on a couple of video editors as well, just because I edit a lot of stuff, but I want to produce more content. And, you know, one way to do that is to get more people on board. So color grading, do you need a high-end monitor? It helps. Wonder if I could color grading. Let me see if I could get this. This monitor is freaking heavy. Made in Japan. All right. This is the monitor I use for my color grading. All right. It's 27 inches. This is called an EIZO. All right. An EIZO. Look up EIZO. Oh, man. That was my workout for the day. But you don't need that. You don't need an EIZO. It's to get going. What I recommend, you get a BenQ monitor, and make sure it has at least Adobe 1998, at least 99%. So when the key statistic when looking for a monitor, make sure it says Adobe 1998, at least 99%. Okay, most monitors 98, 99% of monitors on the internet use sRGB. I know this might be a little complicated, but you ask the question, so I'm going to answer it. But if you're going to go into print and if you're going to get into some serious editing, you want to have that flexibility. It's basically a bigger color space or bigger color gamut. It's called Adobe 1998. So some monitors have it, the better monitors have it. BenQ is the best manufacturer at a budget price, meaning it's not going to kill your wallet. Okay. The EZO is a little more expensive. Okay. I get probably a lower end EZO, but that's like, a lower end, I don't know, a lower end Rolls Royce, you could say. Maybe not like that, but you get the point. So top of the line EZO is kind of like a Rolls Royce. Okay. Didn't pick the winner yet. We're about to get into that. I hope I answered that question for you. Forgot who asked it now. Oh, how we fish Florida. How we fish Florida. Yeah, it helps. Another thing is that you saw that little hood that goes over my monitor. That helps as well, because you don't want to get some of the basically light pollution onto your screen while you're editing. Okay, you want it to be nice and even across the screen when you edit for color grading, but you don't need that. All right, it's not like a necessity, but if you want to get like crazy like I am, you could do it. You could do that. Okay, so the high-end video editing places have it. Okay, yeah, the EZO, you could look it up. EIZO is pretty much the best. They're the best monitors. They're kind of like the gold standard, the industry standard, so to speak, for editing monitors. Okay. But BenQ, like I said, you can look up BenQ and just make sure that's Adobe 1998 and at least 99%. If it says like 99.5%, it's probably 100%. It's just they have to say that to cover their butt. How often do you run color calibration for your monitor? Francis Wong asks, well, if it's a new monitor, I would recommend every 2 weeks. So you get a new monitor, do it every 2 weeks. You had the monitor for a while. Also, make sure you turn on the monitor, let it run for at least I'd say at least half an hour, maybe an hour before you calibrate it, because it can be changing, especially if it's a young monitor. Nice thing about the EZO, it doesn't change much over time because it's so well made. So calibrate it then maybe once a month. So when you start out, first couple months, maybe every 2 weeks. Then after that, every month. Al Gala says BenQ. Yep, BenQ. Yeah, BenQ monitor. They're great for the price. Okay, kind of like bang for the buck, best bang for your buck. If you want to go a little higher, I got the EZO. It's the version is 2740. 2740. Okay, that's the one I got. But you don't have to get that crazy. All right, any more questions before we get to the winner? Any more questions here? What is the average ISO and shutter speed for the average day without any lens? Oh, see, that's a tough question. Living the dream, OTT. Okay, living the dream. Yeah, living the dream. That's a tough question because what I would say is for ISO, keep your ISO as low as possible. Always keep it as low as possible because you're going to have the less noise, or they used to call it, in film days, they used to call it grain in your image, okay? So always keep your ISO as low as possible. Now, for shutter speed, just keep that double your frame rate. So if you're shooting 30 frames per second, then shoot at 1/60th of a second shutter speed. Okay, just double your shutter speed. Hope that made sense. Let's keep moving. Definitely the Mini 2 is a great budget drone, says Nathan Lee. All right. How do I win? It's too late for the giveaway now. We got 79 people. We got the suspense building. We're only about a minute or two away from announcing this winner. I see the suspense building. This is great. All right. Got to build a little suspense for it. 100 ISO on average. Yeah, you could go 100 ISO. Source awareness says that. Yeah, that's a good with the with the DJI drones. Usually it's 100. With some film cameras, it's like 50 or 32. You know, the lower the better. Do you recommend the Al Gala said? Do you recommend the Care Refresh and the Care Refresh Plus? Absolutely, that's a no-brainer. Yes, absolutely. Gives you a peace of mind. It'll cover you for 2 crashes, water damage. Your dog ate it, stepped on it, for up to 2 years. First year is Care Refresh. Second year is Refresh Plus. So highly recommend that. Yes.